Recording in progress.
Hello. Hello, Tahir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. How do I pronounce your name? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to change it. I put like it's Hiba. Hiba.
Heba. Okay. I'm glad we caught that early on. Okay. Oh, Heba. Ahlan wa sahlan. Who do we have here?
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. طاهر صح؟
ثائر.
ثاير. أهلا وسهلا. How are you?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to test this new technology for the Zoom camera, so I can have more freedom in my study room.
Okay, inshallah khair.
Inshallah. Inshallah. You guys are early, and that's good.
So, are your meetings going to be at 5:30 every Wednesday on Zoom?
That's a class.
Okay.
Five
I thought it was going to be both in person and on Zoom.
Does it say that in the bulletin? I thought it says online.
Oh, guess it does.
Okay. Okay. A new person just came in. Oh, Jared. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am testing this new camera, so I will be looking awkward and probably talking awkward on top of the usual awkward.
Is this like an owl or something? This is interesting.
There's an owl.
Yeah.
I went to the office, got my owl. It's sitting idle, and so I thought I would probably use it so I can move around the office when I'm talking to you guys.
Nice. We're supposed to be getting one in our office here pretty soon too. They're pretty handy. Pretty interesting how they follow you though.
Well, this one is not trying to follow me at all. It's probably without the creep feature. We'll see. We will see. So let me see who's here also, so we can get starting. Okay, Fred.
Hello.
Hi. How do I pronounce your name?
For the first name, you can say Fred, and the last name, Kazanowski.
Okay. Can I go by the first name?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Fred. So we have 2 more minutes. We'll wait a little bit, and then we'll start.
قبل ما نبدأ، ممكن أسألك حاجة؟
اتفضل.
أنت مصري؟
اه
أنت منين في مصر؟
say this again, sorry.
أنت منين في مصر؟
أنا من القاهرة. من
القاهرة؟
مصر. من مصر الجديدة.
حلوة. أنا ما زرتهاش، بس أنا كنت عايش في مصر شوية.
والله؟
والله. حتى يعني لحد في نوفمبر أنا كنت عايش في مصر شوية لفترة.
والله كويس.
آه
كويس أوي.
يعني استجرت شقة في دقي في جيزة.
كويس. فين في الدقي؟
في الشارع الصالوني، انت عارفها؟
لا.
لا. شارع قريب من فر ثانية واحدة شوف على جوجل.
اوكي. محمد خطاب، اهلا وسهلا.
أهلين أستاذ، اسمي حمود.
محمود، انا
نعم.
اسف.
السلام عليكم.
اهلا وسهلا يا محمود.
أهلين. كيفك أستاذ؟
انا بخير الحمد لله.
الحمد لله.
ماشي. شارع صلولي بجنب شارع مساحة.
طيب بجنب الميدان، ميدان المساحة.
صح صح.
ده الشارع اللي فيه البيكري.
في واحد قريب.
اوكي. طيب كويس جدا. كويس جدا. Okay, shall we start? A quick note before we start. For those who have not taken class with me before, I think most of you guys so far are new, and this is exciting. But I have a visual impairment, so I use these glasses, and I have to come close to my screen whenever I need to read something. So I might sometimes just shut the camera so you don't have to face my my nose, and that would be when I will turn off my camera, but I will turn it back on as soon as I have to leave the screen. A new person just came in, and it's Tasneem.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. أهلا تسليم، كيف الحال؟
بخير.
الحمد لله. الحمد لله. Okay, let's start then. So, welcome to Qur'anic Arabic, everybody. And this is, I hope, going to be a very interesting, informative, and I also wish intriguing class to take. The focus of the class is the language in which the Quran came to us, strictly speaking. So I will try to avoid as far as I can any issues that have to touch on faith, religion, or theology. That said, sometimes we'll have to do that. There is no avoiding it. But we will be talking about it as these things pop up in class. Before we talk about the nature and the process of the class, and before we talk about the syllabus, I would like us first to introduce ourselves to one another, and second, to go through the website, the class page, and then I will be doing some talking. Today is not going to be a deep dive into the class topics. It's usually housekeeping and navigation in the class. And as of next week, we will dive headlong. So let's introduce ourselves first. And those of you who have no problem opening the camera, please do so. And we will start with Aisha. Would you please, Aisha, introduce yourself to the class?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Aisha Lamri, and I'm a junior. This would be my third class with Professor Sharkawi. I'm double majoring in Near Eastern languages with a minor in humanities and radiation therapy technologist.
Very good. Very good. Now, Ustada Aisha is a very good example that you can survive. So Aisha, why are you taking Quranic Arabic?
I did Qur'anic Arabic because like I want to learn more about the language of the Quran, and especially that you know, it differs than different dialects, and it combines you know, belief with language and religion. So I want to learn more about the history of the Quran and also its, you know, language and how it differs than, you know, different dialects that we use in daily life.
Okay, I hope the class gives you some of that. We sure will, inshallah. Okay, Al-Ustadha Aya Faraj.
Hi everyone, my name is Aya. I'm majoring in speech pathology and minoring in Arabic. I'm taking this class because it's a prerequisite for my minor.
Very good. Thank you for being very honest, and I hope the class becomes interesting as we go on.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really. So you are majoring in speech pathology, right?
Yeah.
Are you going on for a master, or are you just going on to work?
So I'm getting my bachelor's degree this semester and I'll be applying to Wayne State next fall. I'll be getting
Okay.
my master's degree.
Okay, very good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Then Brian, one of my survivors. Would you please introduce yourself, Brian?
Yeah, sure. My name's Brian. I did take structure of Arabic last semester. I started getting into a little bit of structure of the Quran and things like that. So that was really interesting to me. I'm a Near Eastern studies major, and I'm interested in religion. I'm actually a minister, so I'm interested in like peacemaking. I'm also a conciliator, so I want to learn more about Middle Eastern religion as well. Thanks.
Very good. One of the things we will discuss a lot, Brian, in this class, the concept of Middle East. Because it's a colonial concept, right? You must have heard about this quite a lot.
Yeah, I hear people differing as to what they really want to call it, Near East, Middle East, or something different. East.
Why do we have to call it near or middle? Near what and middle what?
We need to change the name of the studies as well to something that's maybe more appropriate.
Yeah, I agree. We'll do that. We'll have to start the revolution first. Okay. Thank you, Brian. I'm looking forward to discussions in this class. أستاذة ابتهال.
Hi, my name is Tel Abda, and I'm going to major in radiologic technology. And I'm taking this class to gain a deeper understanding of the Quran and also for credit.
Okay. So why gain a deeper understanding of the Quran yet?
Because I read the Quran and I wanna like dig deeper, like understand it on another level.
Okay. Do you understand it on the first surface level?
No, a little, some of it. I understand some of it, not all of it.
Okay.
Like there's some words that are like more complex.
Yes, they are. And some are more accessible than others.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Ted. Okay. Ustad Fred.
Hello.
Hi.
I turn my camera on too. I'm Fred. It's my first year at Wayne State, but I've studied at Macomb Community College for 3 years. Majoring in like Arabic and minoring in Spanish with the focus on translation. And I'm taking this class because I've been interested in the Quran, the language. It's something very different. It's its own part of Arabic. It's not like Fusha, like the normal Arabic or dialects. So I'm really
You're
interested in it.
absolutely right. You're absolute. Fred, did you hear about our new class in translation? Introduction?
I heard about it a little bit, but I'll have to talk to the counselor more. I didn't see it on like the list of classes that I can take.
Okay, we can talk about it if you want. Because a third of that class deals with translating the divine, namely the Quran and the Bible. So that might be something you would be interested in, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. So Hiba.
Yes, so my name's Hiba. Um, I'm majoring in public health and minoring in Near Eastern Studies. I'm taking this class to satisfy my credit requirement for my minor, and also I like I had the option for other to take other classes, but I thought it would be very interesting to gain some knowledge about Qur'anic Arabic. I was interested because Qur'anic Arabic is it's Arabic, but it's got its own beauty.
Yeah, it's
Looking
got
forward
its
to
own
that.
niche. Absolutely. Absolutely, you're right. Well, I hope the class keeps being interesting for you. Inshallah. Okay, Jared.
Jared Morrow. So I graduated in 2012, a few years ago, with a degree in Arabic language Near Eastern Studies from Wayne State. Now I'm an employee for the university, so I've come back and I'm doing my master's. Taking this class for a couple different reasons. I mean, obviously it's a good part of my master's, but I've always been really intrigued about the intersection of language and religion. I've taken Tibetan and a few other languages that kind of dovetail with religion, and it's always been something that's very interesting to me.
Mhm. We will be dealing a lot with that intersection. In fact, it's going to be one of the main reasons why this class is quite important, because without that intersection, a lot of theological, behavioral, and also conceptual issues in the Quran would be vague at best. So I hope the class becomes interesting for you and meets your expectations. Thank you, Jared. Mahmoud.
Hello, my name is Mahmoud Khattab. I'm working on degrees in biochemistry and Near Eastern Studies. I'm taking this class because I want to get a better understanding of the Quran. When I'm reading it, I want to be able to actually understand what I'm reading. Right now, it's a little shaky. I'm missing a lot of I guess it's a lot of older words, just things that we don't use in our slang. So,
And also nuanced words that also people during the time of the Quran did not use in that particular sense. So it's yes, archaic, and it's also nuanced on top of that. So welcome to the ride, my friend. Okay, and Sajda.
Hello, my name is Sajida Tarra. My major is biological sciences. I'm taking this class as I'm working on my master's in Near Eastern Studies. I'm interested in this class as I want to have a deeper comprehension of the sacred text and to connect with the verses on a linguistic level.
Well, thank you for qualifying your desire to connect with the text. Sajida, we hope we can do that. Malak.
Hello everyone, my name is Malak Abu Hassan. I'm an English major and minoring in Arabic. I'm taking this class because I'm really intrigued by the structure and art of language. So I just want to delve deeper into the way that the Quran was written and the I don't know, just the way it's all put together, I guess.
Okay, putting together the Quran is going to be our first topic. The compilation of the text into a codex is going to be our first topic in this class, and I hope it is interesting for you. And I also would like you to take a look at our translation class, Malik. It might be something that's interesting for an English major and Arabic minor as well.
Oh, definitely. That's something I look forward to looking into.
Thank you very much. Okay. Tasneem, did we introduce ourselves?
No. So my name is Tasneem. I'm majoring in nutrition and food science, and I'm minoring in Arabic. I have hifz the Quran, so And though I've kind of forgotten it now, but I'm hoping this class will kind of further my appreciation for the language and motivate me again to start revising and relearning it. Relearning the
Okay.
Quran.
Okay, very good. How far did you go in your memorization?
So I did the whole thing, but I never gave the exam for it. And so because of that, and then in school and stuff, I got distracted and then I didn't revise. So I forgot a lot of it now. But
Well, you can always get it back.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I envy you. طيب. تحسينة.
Hi, my name is Tassina. I'm in my 4th year as a public health major, and I'm minoring in sociology. I wanted to take this class because although I don't completely understand the language of Arabic, I've been learning how to do the tafsir, and I think this class will help with a lot of background knowledge and the history of the language.
Background knowledge and history are spot on. Thank you very much, Tahsina. Thair.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Thair Muhammad. I'm currently majoring in speech language pathology, and I'm minoring in Arabic. I'm taking this class because I remember back the sheikh from my masjid, he grabbed 10 students from the masjid and he brought us up, like in a little private, like a little class that he made for us. And he started teaching us, specifically us, the meanings of the words of the Quran and trying to understand it on a deeper level. And not just the stories, what they mean. And so he wouldn't make us go through a whole page. So he would sit with us and we would read 1 or 2 ayat only and try to go into the deeper meanings of those ayat, because if you look at the small things, you can really just learn a lot from it. And I've been taking Quran and Arabic classes my whole life pretty much, and I'm hopefully trying to memorize the whole Quran currently. So this class is, I mean, obviously it's a requirement for my minor, but it helps to expand my horizon on the Quran in general and just the history of it.
I hope it does that.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Thair, inshallah. And in the chat, Jared commented that he's very glad that we have a diverse group of students. Actually, so am I. I am very happy we have that diverse group from the sciences, from humanities. And I'm also especially glad that a lot of us are interested in language, pathologically and also behaviorally. So we have opportunities for conversations and discussions, which I really would like you guys to participate in. I do not want to be lecturing you. This class in particular, I do not want to be lecturing you. And I want to hear from you impressions, ideas, and concepts. I also would like to hear from you questions, queries, and frustrations. That's why you will see that 15% of your total class grade is attendance and participation. So with that, let's go to how the class is structured. And if you follow with me on the screen, I will share my screen. And what did I do? Yeah, I'm sharing my screen right now. And then do not know where I am. Yeah. Here. Let's go first to, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Do you know what I did just now? But bear with me. We are now in, when you open this is the home screen, you will see the modules. And these modules are topics in this class. Every module contains a page with what the topic is about, another page with the essential readings, bibliographical, and then you will see the readings attached. This does not mean that those are the whole readings in that particular topic. But those are the essential readings we all have to do. And later on, when you go to the files tab, we'll do that together now. You will notice that we also have some additional readings for you if you're interested. So these are the modules, and you will see there are two modules in the beginning, one that introduces me to you, and there are 2 pages. One that is a resume, a biography of your professor, gives you a little history on me. And the second is a bibliography of my publications. And if you scan this bibliography really quickly, you will notice that my field of interest is the history of Arabic. And within that field, my specific field of research is the development of classical Arabic from its pre-Islamic form through the Quran and up to the 4th century of the Islamic era, 10th, 11th century of the Common Era. So that's your first module. The second module is a module that introduces a class, right? So what is this class? And this module contains administrative and housekeeping issues. So the first file has the syllabus. The second file has rubrics for final term paper, and then there is the rubrics for writing intensive for those who are interested in writing intensive in this class. And there is a third page that contains how, like a description of how this class web page is designed. And then there are a few links that we will talk about later when we're done with this tourist tour. But if you have, do you have any question?
Nope.
No? Okay. If you have no question, I would like you guys really quickly to go through the syllabus. Open the syllabus and go through it and ask me questions if you have any.
So I have a quick question. From taking your past classes, I know that you typically provide most of the text that we're going to need to read online. Would it be ideal to purchase this book that's mentioned as a text, or is this something that you will need to purchase?
Which book?
1 second. Pull back up. It's the Yunus book, the Routledge Introduction to Qur'anic Arabic.
No, do not. Okay, generally speaking, thank you for this question. Generally speaking, I do not recommend buying anything. And especially the Yunus book is not a book that we will be using extensively. And all the other readings are provided for you for download. Also, we're free to do that. And at the same time, if you want, you can also get them through the Wayne State Library for free. So you will not have to.
Great, thank you.
Of course. Any other questions?
Yes. Could you describe the final paper? Like, what are we going to be working on for them?
Sounds like a very good question. If you go out of this file and you click on the page that says final paper, within the same module, can you find it?
Yeah, I see it. I just clicked it.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you.
Of course. Other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we need to have taken Arabic 2020 for this class? Because when I registered, it allowed me to, even though I'm taking 1020 right now.
This is a very good question. No, this class, even if you have taken the best Arabic class Wayne State or any other American university offers, that will not be a huge help for this class. So short answer, no.
Okay, so I should be okay.
You are okay.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question about that paper you just mentioned, the final paper. I wasn't able to open it earlier, and I just clicked on it again. I couldn't open it. What kind of file type is that?
It should be Word.
Okay, I'll try Word.
Other questions?
Yeah, I was able to open them by putting .doc at the end.
Oh. I will not face a lot of these problems, Brian, because I use a Microsoft Surface and it works seamlessly with these products. Touch wood, it sometimes acts up. But... Okay, other questions, you guys?
Here's one real fast about the final paper. It says at least 800 words, and then on the syllabus it says 15 to 25 pages. Is there like when we
No. I will thank you for pointing this out. I will change it on the syllabus. No. I will change it on the syllabus. Yeah, you please stick to what's on the page.
Okay, thank you.
Is that 800 word limit still for graduate students as well?
I will, like last semester,
yeah,
I will give graduate students special instructions for the final paper.
Thank you.
Thank you for drawing my attention to that issue on the syllabus. Okay, other questions?
The last question I have, the final exam, is it in person or online?
All exams and quizzes will be online and will be open book and will be provided to you well in advance, at least 1 week before they are due.
Okay.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that. If you go out of the modules and go to the assignment tab, let's do that together. If you go to assignments, you will see that we have here quiz 1, quiz 2, midterm, final exam, and final paper. Now, if you click quiz 1, for instance, you see no questions. You will start seeing questions for quizzes. Quizzes, you will see questions for a week before they are due. And midterm and final exam, you will see questions for these 2 weeks before they are due. Right? Other questions? No?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody?
Sorry if you've already like mentioned this, but the midterm and like all exams are basically online, correct? Or do you expect us to be in
Yes, they are. Yes, they are online.
Okay, great.
Online and open book.
Do you know what platform they will be on, just so we can like have our like you know, like whether or not to use Microsoft or like Chrome?
You will be given the opportunity either to type directly into the box or to attach a file, which is usually either a Word file or a PDF. And you can also attach a link if you are if you want to do so.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. One thing I would like to draw everybody's attention to, please avoid emailing me a quiz or an exam. Try to attach it. If you cannot attach it, let me know before it's due that there is a technical difficulty, and I will take your quiz or exam and attach it myself. Okay? Other questions? No? Okay. So after that module, you will notice that there is an introduction. And after the introduction module, there you can see that the class topics are generally divided into 3 kinds of topics. First is the formal structure of the Quran or the rendition of the Quran. And these are topics that have to do with first, rasm of the Quran, its its writing. Second, tajweed of the Quran. And third, the qira'at of the Quran. Meaning that these three rendition topics have to do with the visual image of the text, the auditory sound of the text, and the linguistic variability of the text. After these three renditionary topics, there is the structural variation topic in the Quran, which deals with grammatical and morphological variation in the Quranic text. And the final topic has to do with the stylistics of the Quran. And in this topic, we will be dealing with metaphors in the text and a stylistic phenomenon called iltifat. And these two stylistic features have been selected because they tally very well with a common thread that you will notice all through the topics of this class, namely that the Quran is designed to be listened to, heard, and voiced. So these two stylistic features are aspects of orality that tally very well with this auditory function and nature of the Quranic text. So generally speaking, after the introduction, there are three groups of topics in this class. Renditionary topics, structural topics, and stylistic topics. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Now, the introductory topic before these three groups of topics has to do with the history of the text, the history of the codex, how the Quran is generally structured, the morphology of the Quran as such, right? So it will not be a deep dive into the text itself, but into how the text was formed, how it came to be the book it is that we see right now, and how it is divided. Does this division of topics and the bouquet of themes in the class, does this fit with your imagination of how the class was to be?
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Good, good. Any surprises?
So I have a question, because we're not going to be looking at Qur'anic Arabic book, then we're not necessarily learning vocabulary.
You will not be learning vocabulary. You will not be learning structures, but we will be reading from the Quran itself every class. So it would be a very good idea if you are one of those people who like to have a physical copy to get yourself one. If you don't have one, I can give you a copy. And in addition, I have also included electronic copies of the Quran in this class page, and I'll show you, right now. Any other questions or comments before we move away from the modules?
I have a question about the midterm, not about what you were just saying.
Okay.
It's just that you asked us to answer 2 questions in a paragraph, but you included 3 questions.
Let me go to it. Midterm. Answer the following. Yes, you need to choose 2 of the 3. And then in the next one, you need to choose 1 of the 2.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, you actually drew my attention to a mistake. Answer 2. I'm correcting it as we speak. Done. You will find it easier now to follow, I hope. I made the change. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other question before we move away from modules? So we have seen modules, we have seen assignments, and now as you can see my screen, I am at the announcement. The announcements, I will always be sending you announcements if there is an issue with a class, if I added something, if I want to draw your attention to anything. So please keep an eye on your announcements. Right? There is no announcement so far, but just keep an eye on them. Okay. Now, there is a tab called People. That's every one of us in class. I am assuming you guys will be doing WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. So that should probably come in handy. And now, most important is the Files tab. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. In the Files tab, there is a folder called Qur'anic Arabic. And this has the syllabus and the rubrics like you saw in the module. And then there is the following folder is called Research Tools. And there is a lot of very useful books and documents in this folder. It has, for instance, copy of the Quran in PDF. And please download it because it takes forever to open online. But if you download it, it will open way easier. Right? So it's asking me if I should open it, but I'm not going to open it. Yeah. And there is, so I added 2 copies of the Quran. They're both different. One of them is in a bigger script than the other, and it's colorful. For those who have a problem with the with reading online. And then there is the Encyclopedia of Islam and the Muslim World. You can use this encyclopedia really quickly to check terms dates and personages. It's a very good resource. And then there is another encyclopedia of the Quran, which focuses entirely on the Quran. And now the Quran, there's also the Quran in English translation by Yusuf Ali. I also added, skip that IPA for now. I added the Case Versteeg Encyclopedia of Arabic Language and Linguistics. And then the Blackwell Companion of the Quran. All these books have small articles and lemmas on different aspects of the Quran, that some of these are alphabetical, some are not. So you might want to take a tour in these. These are not designed for you to read. These are designed for you to consult. I know my students hate to go to the library, so I brought the library to you. One of those files here is called the IPA. And if you click open that IPA, I hope it opens. Please open. It doesn't want to open. It contains the phonetic symbols that we will sometimes be encountering in texts written in English that want to use Arabic words in Latin alphabet. So they will be using these symbols to transliterate Arabic. Right? So I thought it would be a good idea to do that and to bring them closer to you. And so another folder is the tests. And these are the bodies of the midterm, the midterm and the final exam in Word. So if you want to copy them, take them down, download them for any reason, so you can work on this thing away from the computer, you can do that. And then after that, there is a folder called Topics. And you will see in this folder, there are subfolders. Every module that we have seen earlier has a corresponding folder here. And every subfolder here contains all the readings for the topic. And it will contain not only the essential readings, but some additional readings as well. You're not required to do the additional readings. You are only required to do the readings that you will see in the module. So for instance, in introduction, there is 5 readings. If you see the 5 readings in the module, then those are exactly the same. But if you see 3 readings, while here are 5, you are required to do only the 3 readings. If you want to do the extra 2 readings, I'll be very happy if you do that. Trust me. But if you don't, you don't have to. Did I confuse anybody?
No.
No, not yet? I'm glad. Now, the last folder is writing tools. And I contained in this folder the Chicago style and the MLA style. I'm not going to kill you if you do not follow the style sheet, but it would be a very good idea if you train yourself in the quizzes and in the midterm and the final exam to choose a style and follow it. It's up to you to choose which, Chicago or the MLA. In language and linguistics, we use the MLA more. In the social sciences, we use the Chicago style more. But it's up to you. Any questions? No? Okay. So I ended my tourist tour of the class website. And if you have no question about these or about the syllabus, I would like to begin talking about the class. Shall we?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. If you guys go to the module called this course, you'll see that I added at the end of the module 3 links, 3 URLs. And those summarize why Qur'anic Arabic. So, every time I teach this class, I change the readings. So all the readings in this class are brand new for me. And the main reason is that there is a special importance in this day and age to learn something about the Quran. There is in this world a growing tendency to convert to Islam. Pew Research says that Islam is a fast-growing religion, and Quran is the main, and some would argue, in fact, the only source text for this otherwise quite secular faith. And also, there are Muslim communities in non-Arabic speaking countries and Muslim minorities in non-Muslim, non-Arabic speaking countries. And there are questions and challenges that face followers of Islam, whose main source text is the Quran, like it faces followers of other religions as well. Issues of gender, issues of marriage and divorce, issues of secularism and religion in the public sphere, and the list goes on. A solid understanding, or in other words, a more solid understanding of the text is imperative. One would ask, okay, but these points are points of theology, philosophy, and comparative religions, not issues of Arabic, not language issues. Now comes the problem that unlike the New Testament, the language issue is indeed a problem in the case of the Quran. And I do not mean a problem in the negative sense only. Yes, I do that, but also a problem in a positive sense, in the research related sense. And the reason is that the language of the Quran, first of all, is nobody's native language. Second of all, Arabs and Muslims have no claim of understanding the language of the Quran. That is why I answered Brian emphatically that we will not be learning vocabulary, we will not be taking exercises in the Quran because it's not my language, it's not his, and it will never be any of ours. What we have to do to start decoding the text of the Quran, put that all that history of Quranic exegesis aside and try to understand the language of the Quran itself as a surface scratcher. I have no doubt, or let me take that back. I assume that some of you guys are practicing Muslims. And I also assume that some of you do the prayers 5 times a day and are acquainted somehow and to an extent with the Quranic text on a daily or at least on a weekly basis. Is it a fair assumption?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask every one of you guys to go get your Quran and open the surah number 96 on the first verse. Surah number 96. In Arabic, Surah Al-Alaq. Are you working on it?
I have it open.
We opened
Okay.
it.
Very good. Very good. Brian, do you have it?
I'm working on it.
Okay. As soon as you get it, I would like you, please, Brian, to read the first verse.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Very good. Thank you very much. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Right? So, who of you guys can tell me the simple meaning, equivalence in English of the word اقرأ?
Read.
Recite.
Okay. So we have got two quick responses, read and recite, right? So Mahmoud says read, right? And who says recite?
I did.
Aisha did. Okay. So what is the difference between to read and to recite?
To read is you're actually reading it out of something, while reciting is from memory.
So reciting is from memory, and reading is gleaning from a source.
Yeah.
Okay. So both are totally different meanings, right? So which is which? What does the word iqra mean in these two contexts? If you all agree that these are the contexts that the word said.
I would assume recite because the Quran wasn't written initially, it was spoken.
Thank you for the assumption, my friend. It's a very good choice of words to assume, because also Aisha and Mahmoud have assumed. Think about it. That verse would sound really silly if you use the equivalence read or recite. Think about it. So this verse says recite or read the name of your Lord who created, right?
Wasn't it
Yeah.
all because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam he was illiterate, like he didn't know how to read and write.
And how do you know that?
Oh, I learned that.
Say it again?
I learned it somewhere.
Yeah, please de-learn it. The Prophet most probably was able to read and write.
He was?
Yes. I'm sorry to break it to you.
No.
Wait, what? The Prophet was able to read and write?
Yeah. My apologies, but he was.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Heba, we will hear a lot of these whats in this class. So take it easy. Do not be surprised a lot. You assume that the Prophet was illiterate because he was described as a Nabi al-Ummi, right?
No, like when I learned it, they told me that it's actually like to show the people that, because you know how they called him that he was Sha'ir and Majnun. So so they said that he was illiterate, so that's a proof for people that he's not the one who came up with those verses.
But he was not illiterate.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So what proof are you talking about with the regards to the Prophet being able to read and write?
Like
it's simply you just need to read the seerah of the Prophet.
But the Sira tells us that he was illiterate.
No, it doesn't. Where does it say that? Prove me wrong.
Right.
Okay, back to the main issue. So the translation of the text would sound really silly. And in the time of the Quran, the word qara'a in Arabic meant to extract, to take something out. So even if you extract water from a well, that's qara'a. If sweat comes out of your body, that's qara'a. In female menstruation, that's qara'a. So in fact, the Quran in this Surah 96, verse 1, does not use the word qara'a in our modern sense, or even medieval sense of reading and or reciting, but extracting. The meaning of this surah becomes much, much more important and quite different from what you guys think it means. This is just an example that the language of the Quran does not only pose an issue of comprehension to a non-user of Arabic, but also to native speakers of the Arabic language, and in particular to Muslim native speakers of the Arabic language. That's one aspect of the importance of the language of the Quran. Any questions before we move on to the next aspect?
Could it be said in some ways that, like for the speakers of Arabic, especially Muslim, there might be a bias there, so that might be even more difficult to translate in some ways?
It is extremely much more difficult to translate, much more difficult to comprehend, because if you just put in mind Hiba and Sajida's responses to what I just said, and to what they have been taught all along about the Prophet being illiterate. They took that, people who taught them took that from the Quran's use of the verse Nabi al-Ummi. This is an epithet that the Prophet was always described with in the Quran. But in fact, the word Ummi in the Quran means Gentile. Brian, can you tell us what a Gentile is?
It's a non-Jew. Somebody who's
Exactly. It's a non-Jew who does not have a holy book. And Nabi al-Ummi is a prophet who does not come from the traditional Jewish lineage. Anyways, thank you, Brian. Now, the next aspect of relevance for the language of the Quran is in the three links I attached to you guys. So if you go, let me share my screen again. And if you go to the module, this course, module discourse, where's the module? Yes. if you go to this course and go to the first link, which says sociocultural issue, and click open that. This is an article about an event from Brandeis University, which discusses a verse in the Quran. And the title of this article is Understanding a Difficult Verse, Quran 4.34. Do you happen to know what that verse is? Please look it up.
I have it in English.
Okay. I need somebody to have it in Arabic. Surah An-Nisa, verse 34. Tasneem, do you have it?
Getting it. 1 second.
Do you want us to read it?
Yes, I do. Please.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا.
إن الله كان عليا كبيرا. Thank you very much. Can you do it again?
Why? But I can.
Yes, please.
الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا.
عليا كبيرا. Thank you very much. Okay, Brian, can you read the translation?
Yeah, this is a translation. Men are guardians of women with what Allah has preferred some of them over others with. And as they donated their money, righteous women are devout and protect what is unseen as Allah protects it. Admonish those you fear will cheat, then desert them on their beds, and then leave them. If they obey you, do not wish for a way against them. Allah is most high and great.
Okay, I want you to underline the word leave, right? And the word cheat. And please read it again, Brian.
The whole verse in English?
Yes, please.
Okay. Men are guardians of women with what Allah has preferred some of them over others with. And as they donated their money, righteous women are devout and protect what is unseen as Allah protects it. Admonish those you fear will cheat. Then desert them on their beds and then leave them. If they obey you, do not wish for a way against them. Allah is most high and great.
Okay. Now, can you discern why this verse is described as difficult in the Brandeis article, in the title?
Based upon ideas about gender today.
Yes. And of course, the translation is interesting, Brian. Which translation is that?
It's an Arabic English reference Quran.
Okay. Good. Can you guys go to Google and try to find translations for this verse?
Yeah, I have something slightly different.
What do you have?
Men are the caretakers of women, as men have been provisioned by Allah over women and tasked with supporting them financially. And righteous women are devoutly obedient and, when alone, protective of what Allah has entrusted them. And if you sense ill conduct from your woman, advise them first. If they persist, do not share their beds, but if they still persist, then discipline them gently. But if they change their ways, do not be unjust to them. Surely Allah is most high and all great.
Okay. So underline discipline them gently. Underline misconduct, please.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and underline caretakers.
Professor,
Yes, ma'am.
why do I feel like they're not translating it like word by word, but they're kind of like more translating the meaning of it?
No, they're actually trying to avoid the meaning of it. Do you have a different translation, Yashajida?
I do have a different one.
Okay, can you guys just Google translation?
I have a different one. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Men are caretakers of women, since Allah has made some of them excel the others, and because of the wealth they have spent, so the righteous women are obedient and guard the property and honor of their husbands in their absence with protection given by Allah. As for women of whom you fear rebellion, convince them and leave them apart in beds, and beat them. Then if they obey you, do not seek a way against them. Surely Allah is the highest, the greatest.
Okay, so underline beat them. And can you read it again? And I'll tell you what to underline. Sorry.
Yeah. Men are caretakers of women, since Allah has made some of them excel the others, and because of the wealth they have spent. So the righteous women are obedient and guard the property and honor of their husbands in their absence with the protection given by Allah.
Underline this guard, whatever, of their husbands.
Okay. As for women of whom you fear rebellion, convince them and leave
underline rebellion.
Convince them and leave them apart in beds and beat them.
And underline beat.
Then if they obey you, do not seek a way against them.
Thank you very much, Sajida. Okay, so you guys might, one might know now where I am driving with these different translations. The first two translations, the one that Brian read and the one that Jared read, share two very common traits. One is a lack of understanding of the Arabic morphology and vocabulary, And the second trait is an avoidance of controversial commands. The third, the one given by Sajid, is the one.
Professor, it was actually Aisha.
Aisha, answer. I beg your forgiveness, ya Aisha.
It's all right.
So the translation given by Aisha, who I called Sajida, is the one that most of the Arabs use. And surprisingly, it also shares the same two problems. And I will explain. This verse is the one that determines, it's actually one of the very few verses in the Quran that does away with patriarchy. It defines the role of men to women, not in marriage, but in the household in general. Right? So it says, الرجال قوامون على النساء. In these two, in the three translations, you had the word guardians and the word caretakers, right? Both of these choices are not good enough. In the Quran, the choice of word, verb is qama ala. That's to take care of, yes, to guard, to serve. But the form in which the verb is used is what we call in Arabic صيغة المبالغة. And this is the form we use when we give an unalienable trait to a person or to a thing. In other words, men are not only guardians or caretakers, that's their sole duty towards their women. That's their essence, that's their raison d'etre. And you cannot break it away from them. And then it says, الرجال قوامون على النساء. It didn't say what kind of women. It didn't specify your husband, your wife, your daughter. Yes. النساء, women. So define your role to the women in your life.
But it makes sense for it to be like husband to wife, because the rest of the ayah speaks about like between a husband and wife.
Oh, how so? How do you find that?
Like as you read, it says, like how like righteous women are devoted to their husbands, and they have to be obedient to them. If not, then
Did it say that? Really?
yeah.
You guys, I am very intrigued. How did you get that?
I read the ayah and it said,
read it again, please.
Also, it says to refuse share their beds.
Ah, That's a very good remark. And I will come back to this remark in a minute. Okay? And I'll explain to you how and why. The thing is, men have a sole duty to the women in their life, and humor me for a second, okay? Just and with what? So what are the things that men serve women with?
Well, security, financial, you know.
Where does it say that?
Well, it translate the qawwam translate as someone who cares for and maintains.
Yes, with what? And the Quran gives you two things. الرجال قوامون على النساء with بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض. Right? With that with which God favored some more than the others. And this is a very vague phrasing of it. And also with something else. وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا. Right? So men have to take care of their women in one vague thing that the Quran did not specify, and there is a good reason for that. And the other thing is financially. So every man in this class is responsible financially for the women in his life. Right? So you have, as a man, two unalienable responsibilities. One is financial, and one is a trait or a feature that God has favored some men over others.
No, not men over others. It's men over women. Like God has given them ability to protect and to serve women, rather than the opposite.
How did you get that?
Men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other.
Yeah, the other what? Is it women is the other or men is the other? Go back to the Arabic. The Arabic is a little clearer than that.
Doesn't it say بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض?
Yes. وبما أنفقوا. Yes. And the reason why it's vague, this first thing is vague, is because the responsibility of the man is not only to his wife, but to his sister, to his mother, to his daughter, and his responsibility, his preference over other men, his favor over other men differs depending on the relationship to that woman in his life. So if it's a relationship of marriage, then this man is responsible for his wife financially and sexually. If it's a mother, it's a little different, financially and something else. If it's a daughter, it's financially and something yet different, and so on. Okay. And then what is the responsibility, the unalienable responsibilities of the women?
To be obedient and guard their chastity.
Where does it say be obedient?
In Arabic or in English?
In Arabic.
Okay. واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن.
No, before the verse, the part before that.
الصالحات قانتات حافظات
Yes.
للغيب بما حفظ الله.
Yes. والصالحات. So he first gave you the description of men, and then he's moving to women. Right? He gives you the responsibility of men towards women. And remember, he did not describe men as salihin. Now, he goes to salihat of women, and it did not say obedient. The Quran used the word qanitat. And qanata in the Quran is to stay the course, to be steadfast. What else is the responsibility of a good woman?
Like we just said.
حافظات للغيب. What does that mean? What does غيب mean?
I thought it meant what's hidden.
Yes.
Say it again? This what's hidden. Yeah, which is what?
I guess your chastity, like she was saying earlier.
So why do we have to go for chastity first thing? If it's a married woman, it doesn't have to be chastity, right?
So then it should be secrets in general?
Yeah, like
Not-
privacy. Private
Wait,
thing.
wait. We do not have to go sexual, by the way.
No, I
It's
mean
not-
just
It's not secrets. It's everything that is not public. Which includes, by the way, chastity, which includes modesty and virtue, which includes also pregnancy in the early months, which includes relationship to the husband, and so many different things. Again, there is one vague command because there is a different relationship for every woman to every man. Daughter, wife, mother, sister, and so on. Right? So just simply, let's go to, I do not remember who told me about their beds. That's why we're talking about husbands and wives.
I did, Aisha.
Aisha, you embarrass me a lot today. Okay, but here's the thing. Can you read this part, يا Aisha? واللاتي تخافون
واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا
Very
عليهن.
good, very much. So Aisha, واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن. Nushuz, what does that mean in the three translations we have? What does it mean in your translation, Brian?
I'm a little lost, sorry.
Jared, what does it mean in your translation?
Not sharing.
Say it again.
Are we talking about not sharing?
After the before the not sharing, and the woman who you fear what?
If you cannot fear that they will protect what Allah has entrusted them.
I can't hear you very well. I'm sorry.
And if you sense ill conduct, that's what they have.
Mm-hmm. Misconduct. That's one translation. And what do you have, Ya Aisha?
I have ill conduct.
Ill conduct. What do you have, Brian?
Cheat.
Cheat. It certainly is not limited to cheating. It includes cheating. Ill conduct or misconduct is a good translation. Right? So good women are commanded to do two things. One is vague and one is clear. And whoever, it's the one that's vague because it depends on her position in the relationship. But if one misbehaves as far as these two commands are concerned, then you have three options. And the three options have to do with the three different relationships a man may have to a woman. Mother and sister relationship, عذوهن. Wife, اهجروهن في المضاجع. And daughter, اضربوهن.
That's interesting.
Is it like really must be that way?
Say it again.
Is it like really like the correct translation? Is like for the three things?
Well,
Thank you for using the word correct. There is no correct. We're trying to understand it linguistically.
Oh, okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
you have three different English translations. One is extremely transactional and gives the man the upper hand. And two others are quite diluted, trying to avoid ضربوهم. And all three translations suffer from linguistic misunderstanding. So that's why you will see this article from Brandeis University trying to navigate the difficulty of this verse, which is not essentially difficult at all. In the modern world we live in, where a man cannot beat, quote unquote, his wife because it does not say beat your wife. Right? So we're trying here to avoid a problem that doesn't exist. I'm not defending the Quran. It is what it is. Because there are other verses in the Quran where men will be allowed to marry more than women, more than one woman, and I will defend that because it's in the text. If you like it or not, that's another story. But there are always going to be apologies on the one hand and deprecations on the other hand. And both apologies and deprecations stem from a linguistic malunderstanding of the text. Any question or comment?
No, this makes a lot of sense because if I read this in the English, there's a lot of added words that they even show that are added by putting them in parentheses. And if you read it without the parentheses, it says, and if you sense ill conduct in your woman, advise them, do not share their beds, or discipline them. It doesn't say, like it otherwise it adds in first advise them. Then if they persist, then these things don't actually exist within the actual Arabic.
Yes, that's true, because the translator understood it only in the context of spousal relationships. You guys, men in the Quran are like, unfortunately, are like male bees. We serve a queen, which is so unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay. Any question or comment, or shall I move to the next link?
It's really interesting because every time I read Surah Nisa, I stop at this verse. I reread it like multiple times, and I still remember researching it once and trying to find its meaning, because like even if you read it in Arabic, you would still have some questions about its meaning and the message behind it.
Yes, and that's why, partly why we're taking this class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move to the next link, which says the Muslim women using feminine pronouns for Allah, right? So in Arabic, when we use a pronoun to talk about God, we use a masculine third person singular huwa, right? And now some Muslim feminists want to use the third person feminine singular hiya. And why do we use huwa for God and not hiya? Any idea? Is God a male, a female, a neutral gender, a
No.
transgender? What is God?
No one knows.
But God describes himself in the Quran. In the ayah 100, in the surah 113. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ahad and Samad. And this means you cannot define them. So why do we use huwa for God? That's the question of Muslim feminists.
Because it's a general descriptor
And
without gender.
also in every language, basically, he and him are the dominant pronoun, basically, for using it for.
You are aggravating the feminist problem, my friend.
I've noticed also that God is nahnu. So I just wonder if it has to do with language custom. Like, for example, if you have a language, you're only describing the reality that you see. So when you try to describe something greater, you have to use the best and then closest thing to that. So nahnu would describe like maybe royalty, I don't know, in Arabic, but
no, God describes himself in the Quran both by the first person singular and first person plural, depending on the context and the function of the verse. But you're absolutely right. The masculine in Arabic does two functions. It describes the masculine, and it also describes the unknown gender. Whichever entity you are not able to identify a gender for, you should use the masculine.
The same comes up in Hebrew. We talk about El or Elohim. They're both plurals, or sorry, they're both masculine, one being single and one plural, but they're not necessarily gendered.
They're not necessarily males. Yes. Yes. That is very true, because that is a Semitic feature. So we do not only have a malunderstanding of the text, we also have a deliberate restructuring of the language function, which will take us even further away from understanding the text, right? So put these two links together. You can see my moral point in teaching this class. At this very moment in our modern history, our contemporary history, where you see men, and I'm going to be philosophizing a little bit, but I promise it has to do with the function of the class. You can see men checking out of the workforce. You can see men checking out of their responsibilities in society. You see men less and less committed to marriage, less and less committed to relationships, less and less committed to having children, right? You see young men even less and less committed to having a driver's license, for God's sake, right? There's 7 million American prime age males who are not working. And part of the reason is that there is a social change.
But
Go ahead.
like what's interesting is like they don't consider that like the Quran is describes God, and God himself describes himself as like nahnu and like we will. He describes himself as we, or so why don't they say that God is more than one person at that point if they're just claiming that he's a man?
Yeah, well, because feminists are a special interest group. They are not pagans, they're just feminists. So they talk about what they are interested in.
Yeah, but like they just have to make sense. That makes no sense.
Like you're doing right now, you're being apologetic, right?
How?
You're defending something.
No, I'm making a point because their point makes no
Yeah,
sense.
you're making a very good point. But that point, that very good point you are making, is a point in defense of an opinion. The difference between you and them is that they are not making a good point. They are making a point which is not good in defense of something. Do you see my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this world we're in, and I'm not talking about Americans who are not Muslims only, I'm also talking about Muslims. Men have unalienable duties and responsibilities, without which they are not men. They are males. And the Quran makes the distinction, and we'll find out that along the semester, the distinction very clear between men and males and between women and females. So understanding the language of the Quran, or even beginning to understand the language of the Quran, is integral to our worldview, is integral to responding to the challenges of modernity, contemporary life, and coexistence. And these three articles that I just quoted for you are just an attempt on my part to show you why the language of the Quran is relevant. It's not to reinforce somebody's faith or shed some light on the verses they use for prayers. In fact, understanding the language of the Quran can be corrective to our ways of life. Therefore, we will start with the physical form of the Quran in writing, in sound, and in recitation. That will take a good half of our semester. There is a lot of materials to cover. There is a lot of territory. So please help me navigate through as much as we can this semester by coming to class prepared.
Okay.
Okay? Good. So did I manage in this introductory class to disturb anybody or confuse anybody?
No, you honestly, you got me more interesting in the course and its context.
Thank you. Anybody got confused or got upset?
Nope. Actually, I agree with I think what Aisha said. Like, it made it more interesting for me.
Okay, but just if it's more interesting today, one time it will be quite provocative, and some other times it will be upsetting. So just get ready for the ride. Next time, inshallah, we will work on the introduction. So if you go to the modules, and if you scroll down to introduction, and in the introduction, do you see the readings?
Yeah, I see them.
Good. So how many readings are they, Mahmoud?
It looks like 5 right there.
It looks like 5. It looks like you're right. Why did you say it looks like?
I'm not sure. I was staring at it. I thought maybe the introduction, like the actual like page was also a file, but I clicked on it and it didn't take me anywhere.
Okay, so the introduction, if you click on it, gives you very few words about what we are doing in this topic. So read this before you delve into the readings. And you'll see readings. The manuscripts and the archaeological tradition, that's the first, right? And it tells you how the Quran came down to us. And it's a very quick and interesting reading. And the next one is the form of the Quran, historical contours, the history of the printed edition of the Quran, and when did the consonantal skeleton of the Quran reach closure. So the last two I want you to do the first three readings first. And if you have time, then do the next two. Okay?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay, and you guys, please do the readings. This will allow us to discuss them really quickly and will allow me to move beyond them to interesting issues that link the text of the Quran and also the texts of these readings to our daily life questions on the text. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions? No? Any comments?
I just want to ask you something at the end of class, if that's okay.
That's more than okay. Any comments? Any concerns? Any curses?
No.
No? No yet? Okay. Thank you, Aisha. So how was class today?
This may sound like, sorry.
What did you say, Jared?
I was going to say this may sound like I'm sucking up, but I'm not. After today, I'm actually a little more excited about this class than I was before.
A little more excited. Okay. Good. I am actually excited about the summer. Yeah, thank you, Jared. This is heartwarming. Any other, how was class today? Any other comments?
It was
Yeah,
really
I thought it was the
interesting.
same.
Oh, sorry.
Fred?
I found it really interesting. Like it was neat to look at the Arabic translation for the Quran and then the English.
Yeah. You guys know what I found really interesting today? Your vehemence. I found really interesting. And I hope you keep that to the end of the semester. Anything you want me to change from the way I talk, from the way the camera is set up?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. So you guys are off the hook. I will see you next week, inshallah, Wednesday. And I will be working tomorrow on adding a link for the a Zoom link for the office hour. You can access that link like you access the link to the class.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Okay, see you next week. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good night.
Shukran, Allah ma'ak.
Thank you, Thad. Good night. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah. Go ahead.
just to make sure, was there any specific readings that you said we needed to look at before the next class?
Yes. Can you go to the module called Introduction?
Yes.
Okay. In the module called Introduction, you have 5 readings.
Okay, I see them.
Yeah, please do them in order.
Okay, so those before next class. All right, thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you.
Okay. You wanted to ask me a question.
Yes, I just, while I was on the call, I accidentally had pressed start video, and I just wanted to ask if like the videos show for like on the recording?
Mine only.
They don't, or they do?
Mine shows.
Oh, so you can see all of our videos?
I can see. No, you can see me.
Right.
Right? You can see me. That's why I'm opening my camera. You do not want to open the camera?
No, because I wear hijab and my video had
Okay.
shown 2 seconds, and I don't want it to be recording
It's
or.
okay. Oh, can you review and then let me know so we can see what we can do about this?
Yeah. Do you post these?
I don't. It goes automatically.
Okay. Oh, so it posts automatically?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I'm just worried
So
about.
wait. In which part did you accidentally hit it?
It was close to the beginning, around like maybe 5:45.
Okay. Let me see if I can, because sometimes, because this is a long class, sometimes the videos get divided into two. I will see if your face is showing. Then I will have to see if we can delete it.
Okay, thank you.
That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, I just because in case it gets posted or because I know these are recorded, I think I might have shown. I don't know if I did,
Nobody can download it. Just so you know.
but they can open it. Like they can do it. Correct.
Yes, they can view it. Yeah. I will see if your face shows, and I will try to delete it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good luck. How was class today, Hiba?
Good. I enjoyed it.
Very good.
I'm a little bit like debatable. I like to debate, so I hope.
I like that.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah, I mean no disrespect or anything. It's just I like to go back and forth to understand where the other person's coming from because most of your, like, or not yours, but like other people's opinions I haven't heard before. So I'm curious about them and I want to know where they, I'm just curious. Yeah.
That's why you are in class, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for understanding.
Of course. See you next time. Night.
Night.
Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan.
This is Yazan from the previous semester.
I know.
I'm sorry, I've joined the course late. I didn't want to skip the first lecture. I had a couple questions I couldn't ask, like in the beginning when you were going over the syllabus. I've read the syllabus and saw that there's attendance points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Attendance and participation. You will not be able to attend?
No, I don't think so.
Tayyip. Okay, we can work around this by giving you an assignment.
Giving me an assignment.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So next week, send me an email.
Okay.
And I will send you the assignments. So it's official, and we have a reminder of it.
Sure. How many assignments will there be?
There will be probably 4 or 5.
For the whole semester?
Yes.
I see. I saw that there's the questions, I think there was already posted for the final exam.
For the midterm and the final exam, yes.
Do we have the opportunity like to solve them before and submit them?
Yeah, you can if you want.
I mean, yeah, but if once you grade them, do we have the opportunity to resubmit them like last semester?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
That's why they are here on the first day.
I see. And would that be the case also for the assignments? When is the due date for the
No,
assignment?
no. For your makeup assignments for the grades, no.
Just one submission.
Yes.
And will you post the due dates for the assignment for us, or?
No, it's only for you who's not going to be able to attend.
No, I mean, it's for me and my cousin.
Okay. So for the two of you who are not able to attend, only the others will attend and will get their grades by attendance and participation.
So when do we have to submit those assignments?
That's what I will tell you next week on the email.
Sure. I'll be then emailing you, and I'll try as much as I can to join the lecture whenever I can.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad. I appreciate you.